This was a very unusual book haul, a very eclectic, unusual book haul. Welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina K-R-I-S-T-I-N-A. This is where we read books and talk about books. No special effects, no theme music, none of that fancy smashy stuff going on here. So we got a whole bunch of different, some sci-fi, some romance. These are all from a discard sale. So we have, oh, where's my glass? So there's some romance, there's some sci-fi, there's some other weird stuff in here. But it was just it's just an eclectic. Nancy Thayer, Girls of Summer. One life-changing summer on Nantucket brings about an exhilarating resolution for a single mother and her two grown children in this sensational novel from New York Times bestseller Nancy Thayer. Lisa Hawley is a perfectly satisfied living on her own, having fully recovered from a brutal divorce nearly 2 decades earlier. She has successfully raised her kids Juliet and Theo, seeing them off to college and beyond. As the owner of a popular boutique on Nantucket, she's built a fulfilling life for herself on the island where she grew up. With her beloved house in desperate need of repair, Lisa calls on Mac Whitney, a friendly and very handsome local contractor and fellow single parent, to do the work. The two begin to grow close, and Lisa is stunned to realize that she is willing to open up again after all, despite the fact that Mac is 10 years her junior. Jacqueline Carey. Autumn Bones. Fathered by an incubus, raised by a mortal mother, and a liaison to Pembrokeshire Police Department. Daisy Johansen pulled the community together after a summer tragedy befell the resort town she calls home. Things are back to normal as normal gets for a town famous for its supernatural tourism and presided over the reclusive Norse goddess Hel. I don't know what that child's been into, but she's been into something. Uh, Fable Haven. Brandon Mull. After 6 centuries of plotting, the Sphinx, leader of the Society of the Evening Star, is after the final artifacts needed to open the great demon prison. ZZYZX. If the legendary prison is open, a title of evil is certain to usurp control of the world. A little on the damage side. 12 new mysteries. Naomi Alderman Coyle, Alyssa Coyle, Jen Kowack, Val McDermott, Karen McManus. All these different people. From the first time in 45 years, Agatha Christie's legendary sleuth, Jane Marple, returns to solve 12 baffling cases penned by a host of acclaimed authors skilled in the fine art of mystery. In St. Mary Mead, a Christmas dinner is interrupted by an unexpected guest. The Broadway stage in New York City is set for a dangerous improvisation. Bad omens surround an untimely death aboard a cruise ship to Hong Kong. And many more. Blood of Atonement. Peter Trayman. Winter AD 1670, Fidelma and her companion Edlef are finally home in Cashel for an extended stay. After months of solving crimes all over the 5 kingdoms of Ireland, a feast day held by King Culloch at first seems like a joyful and peaceful celebration, until it is suddenly interrupted by the entrance of a religious who claims he has an important message for the king. The intruder approaches the throne and shouts, "Remember Liam." Lunging toward the king, he kills Culloch's bodyguard and wounds the king himself, putting himself on the verge of death. While the assassin is quickly slain, the question's on everybody's mind: who is behind this and why? Ever Blue, Merle Tales Book 1. Brenda Pendos. Best friends share everything with each other, or do they? 17 years old, Ashlyn Frances Lasky is tired of a boring single life. Spending time with her best friend Tanita, dreaming about kissing Tanita's twin brother Finn, and swimming competitively are her only sanctuary. The girls plan to leave their drab lakeside town far behind for college. But when Tachi fails to return home after a family emergency and no one knows where the family is gone, Ash chooses to do something to find them. Just a sec. Susan Lewis, No Place to Hide. What are they doing? Fleeing her native England with her 3-year-old daughter, Justine Cantrell gives herself a new name and a new life in America. In a quiet Midwestern town on the shores of glittering Lake Maxinkuckee, Justine hopes to recapture the fleeting days of happiness in the long summers she spent with her grandmother. And though her memories of that time are scant, Justine knows they have shared a special bond. Aww. That might be good for my starting over series. And I just broke a nail. Karen Kingsbury, take 3. Chase Ryan and Keith Ellis set out to change the world with their films, and they finally seeing their dreams come true. The dedicated producers are deep in negotiations with America's top young movie star to play the lead in their next inspirational movie, but life takes a sudden turn for Chase, removing him from Jeremiah Productions permanently. In the process, Keith brings on one of Baxter family members, and the movie making continues. Get out. Hell Hollow, Ronald Kelly. That looks like a scary book, don't it? Rural town of Harmony, Tennessee possessed a disturbing secret. A secret so ancient that most of its residents were completely unaware. Even the last survivors of a vigilante raid long ago have filed the tragic events of that autumn night away, totally unaware of the evil that remains, dormant but forever patient along the tall pines and the thick-leaved canoes of a place known as Hell Hollow. Ah, some damage here, but we've got it starts with us and it ends with us. So, how come so much thicker than the other one? Lily and Ryle have just settled into a civil co-parenting rhythm with their daughter Emerson when Lily suddenly runs into an Atlas nearly 2 years after they last spoke, elated that the timing finally seems to be right to give what they have together a real chance. Atlas asks Lily on a date, but Lily's excitement is almost immediately replaced by dread, anxiety when Lily remembers Ryle, though no longer her husband, is still very much a part of her life. Okay? Lily hasn't always had it easy, but that's never stopped her from working hard for the life she wants. She's come a long way from the small town where she grew up. She graduated from college, moved to Boston, and started her own business. When she fells a spark with gorgeous neurosurgeon, good to be true, Ryle is assertive, stubborn, maybe even a little arrogant, but he's also sensitive, brilliant, and a total soft spot for Lily. Ah. So it may not end too happily in this book, but it should end up happily in this book. Um, Cristobal Kent, A Darkness Descending. When the driven, charismatic leader of the Florentine political movement collapses at a rally, his young party immediately comes under threat when it appears that his wife Flavia has disappeared, leaving behind not only a devastated husband but their newborn son. The political dreams dangerously personal, and Detective Inspector Sandro Cellini is summoned to investigate. Ah, this was a weird box. Brooklyn on fire. See this. Brooklyn on fire. After closing a case with the Brooklyn Police Department, Mary Hanley is determined to become an official detective in her own right. And when Emily Warsham shows up at Mary's new office, convinced that her uncle was murdered, Mary's second assignment begins. As she investigates, Mary soon finds herself entangled in high-stakes family scandal, political corruptions, untrustworthy sources, and an unexpected romance with a central member of the New York's elite. Offering a life of luxury, Mary fears she could get used to this. See what happens. An older book, Elmore Leonard. With the closing of the Harlan County, Kentucky coal mines, marijuana has become the biggest cash crop in the state. 100 pounds of it can gross $300,000, but that's chump change compared to the $250,000 a human party can get you, especially when it's sold off in pieces. Okay. I think I might be starting a Johansson series. Book read. We'll have to see. Check those out. I think we've talked about these in Flashback Mondays. I'm just gonna go through the last days. I think there was another. I think I might be doing Donna DeLeon. I'm gonna have to look into that. Another Iris Johansson. And it's the end of my box. Let's see. Okay, the last book. One weekend while Andrew Mason was on a hunting trip, his wife Bree vanished without a trace. Most assumed that Andy had gotten away with murder, but the police could never build a strong case against him. For a while, Andy hit rock bottom and became a parrot in the place he called home. Now, 6 years later, Andy has finally put his life back together, but his peaceful world is about to be shattered one day when a woman bearing a striking resemblance to Bree shows up at his old address where a new structure now stands, screaming, "Where's my house? What happened to my house?" And then just as suddenly as she appeared, the woman is gone. The police are notified and old questions and dark suspicions resurface. Oops. Well, that was an eclectic pile. What'd you think? I have to go fill my box up again. But that was interesting. Please check out Flashback Monday. Please check out Star Trek Next Generation Fridays. And please check out If Then Fridays afternoon. And come here. Come here. And please check out all the videos featuring my gal pal here. Have a good one.